To hell with the date on your birth certificate. Let's talk about what we have in common across generations. Life, sex, and tech at any age. Welcome to Age Blind with Nancy A. Shenker.
Hey, boys and girls. Welcome back to Age Blind. And I am wearing my holiday tiara, which will drive me crazy if I keep it on through this entire thing. But my friend Nancy Kirsch, who I've known since second grade, commented on it when she saw the recording. So this is for you, Nancy. And now I will take it off so that I don't get brain freeze. Has a little on-off button. So it is off and it is gone. So yeah, let's get started. My podcast is called Age Blind because I'm encouraging people to be blind to the date on the birth certificate and to respect the things that we have in common rather than our differences. And it all really starts with self-love, which brings me to prop number 2, which is my little bunch of mistletoe. And there's a story behind this mistletoe. It was given to me by a date who had a habit of giving swag bags to the women he meets, which is kind of an interesting approach. They were personalized, which I think was nice. He apparently had read my Facebook profile and saw that I liked hoop earrings and the mistletoe. I don't know where that came from. I guess he wanted a kiss. But now I have a sprig of fake mistletoe. The guy didn't make it past 3 dates, but I keep the mistletoe hanging on my door, which if I ever wanted to kiss somebody in my hallway floor would be appropriate. But otherwise, I just schlep it around and bring it as a prop to my podcast. So back to my last podcast of 2024. Wow, what a wild and weird year it's been. First, let me go through a little year in review. What do I consider the wildest highlight of 2024? Probably the fact that we elected a reality TV star as president of the United States. Speaking of that, a whopping 30% of people in the US watch reality TV. And reality TV is about 12% of all TV programming. I just finished a book this year called Cue the Sun. Actually, I'm still finishing it. I have about a chapter or 2 to go. And it's about the evolution of reality TV. So if you like to read, which a small portion of the population really does, which is a kind of sad fact, please follow me on Goodreads to see what I'm reading next. It's a great platform if you haven't heard of it. And it's like a virtual book club. You get great recommendations from people you know about what to read. Which leads me to one of my big accomplishments of this year. I started reading again, and I also picked up on my passion for knitting. And between Thanksgiving and actually, I started a little earlier. I think I started in September. I finished 8 red and green hats before Christmas to gift to my kids and my grandkids. I also rediscovered my love of cooking and baking, and I've saved a lot of money by just making my own meals. So enough about politics, TV, and domestic arts. What else happened in 2024 that relates to business? I launched this podcast, and I have a great new producer named Kyle Decker who has helped me transition from my old podcast, which was called The Geezer Proofer, to this new podcast called Age Blind. And I record at an online platform called Riverside, which is super, super easy to use. I also introduced a new format for my podcast where I have eclectic guests sitting with me. It's like a giant weird Zoom. And we talk about sex, tech, and life across the generations. So I have many more podcast surprises planned for 2025, and I'm always looking for interesting guests. So please reach out to me at nancyaShenker@gmail.com. Whether you're 18 or 98 or 108, you're welcome to come on Age Blind next year. I've recorded about 60 episodes, and you could find them on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and all the other places you find podcasts. So what kind of stuff do we talk about on the podcast? Weird dating adventures, relationships, travel, divorce, family estrangement, AI, food, fashion. Sometimes we're educational and serious, and sometimes we're just weird and a little bit dirty. In fact, I just recorded another episode called Naughty or Nice with my friend Kelly Brink. So my episodes are always short, like me, because who has the patience these days to really listen to long stuff? We're living in a world of scrolling and swiping. So everything is very telegraphic and TikTokian, as I like to say. So it doesn't even need to take a lot of your time to listen to me. So what else did I do this year? I traveled at least once a month. I wrote hundreds of articles for a magazine called Street Fight, which you can find online. It's not about mixed martial arts. It's about brands that have multiple locations. I started writing for a travel magazine called Next Tribe, and I wrote a bunch of research reports and white papers for various clients. So for those of you who think that all I do all day long is talk dirty on my podcast, that's not the case. A girl's got to make a living somehow. And right now, I'm too awkward for OnlyFans. The other thing that I did this year is I took time for self-care, which is really important. I was working with a very stressful client early in the year and realized that I had given up a lot of my personal life, which was very important to me. I started weight training again with my awesome trainers, one of whom is going to be on my podcast next year. And I've become totally obsessed in a good way. I used to be told that obsessed was not a good word, but I noticed that when I watch Instagram videos, everybody, including Bethany Frankel, who I don't like, is talking about how they're obsessed with things. But what I'm obsessed with is making protein pancakes in the morning. And then for snacks, I'm eating these Pop-Tart-like protein pastries from a brand called Legendary. Again, I'm not an affiliate marketer, but hopefully if they see me waxing poetic about their products on my podcast, they will give me free stuff. Anyway, let's fast forward. Who really cares about what I did in 2024? Of course, I care because it's my life. But the main point that you should all take away is that even though I'm 68, almost 69 years old, I'm not too old to have adventures and reinvent myself. And I'm hoping that I can inspire you to try new things, especially if you're stuck. And that is going to be the theme of my January podcast, is doing the new. So in addition to writing, I do help people create their business and life plans and teach them new tech skills. And you'll be hearing a lot more about that in 2025, including the fact that I'm going to be offering online workshops. So if you could use some of my mojo, or you need help in your business or in your life, developing a plan, setting goals, creating a vision board, getting out of a slump, I'm your girl. And if you want to be on my podcast next year, just reach out to me at nancyaShenker@gmail.com. And we can even create a theme around something you're passionate about. As I said, January's theme is Do New. We'll be talking to people who took risks, mixed things up, and did unexpected and sometimes scary things in their lives. But my most important message for the last podcast of this year is to wrap yourself up in tinsel, not literally, unless that is the kind of thing that you're into. I'm sure there's a OnlyFans channel or a Pornhub channel where people are doing weird things with tinsel. I'm not advocating that. But what I do mean is that you should celebrate yourself. Look for all those little things in your own life that brought you joy this year, and be sure to sprinkle the people around you with light and love. Make some time for self-care, for family, for friends, or just sit down and watch a sappy holiday movie. And if you happen to be alone this holiday season, like I am, volunteer or figure out something that gives you peace. Make a vision board, either cut out pictures from a magazine or do it digitally on an app like Canva. Make a simple list of things you're going to do next year and just enjoy being in the present and being in the moment. I'm so grateful to all of you who followed along on my wild and weird adventures this year. And I hope you'll keep on listening and watching. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you happen to get your content. And I wish you all so much holiday cheer, and to all a good night. And to quote one of my favorite holiday movies, Love Actually, let's go get the shit kicked out of us by love. Love and peace out. Happy holidays. Looking forward to 2025.
Yes.